Hello, my name is Dave Walker and I'm a coach and storyteller. And today I'm wearing my storyteller hat. I wanted to share with you a story that I wrote and published through my first book. So I'm actually an author now. So my book is called Mondays Don't Have to Suck: How Small Changes Can Make a Huge Difference. So what is the book about? I guess if I were to summarize it, I'd say it's a book about nasty and nice. So I went through, it's actually two stories for the price of one. I went through a journey of small changes and small decisions that brought me somewhere that turned nasty. And then afterwards, when I finally decided to get out of what I was calling my nasty zone, it was a journey to somewhere that is a lot nicer. So that's where I am today. So it's the journey to the nasty zone and then the journey to the nice zone. And how did I do that? How was I able to do that? There's a lot of other people I've come across who are in nasty zones as well. Some of them have been able to get out. A lot of others are still struggling to do that. So, and then getting back out of it, there's a lot of people who have gone back to the nasty zones. So I'm hoping that by sharing my story, or my two stories of, how did I get into that nasty zone, as again, it was a whole series of small decisions and small steps, and a lot of it I didn't even realize I was heading that way. It really was unintentional that I got in there. And then how did I become, I guess, more intentional moving forward? Although, to be honest with you, I never thought that I would arrive where I am today. So again, all those small positive changes ended up, bringing me to another zone that was almost unintentional. As I got the momentum going, I got there. And now it's, now I'm working on maintaining it. So the way the book is structured, it's basically the first half is sharing a lot of the lessons learned and things I learned from other people as well about, how does one get into their nasty zone? Sharing that with you so that you can connect and maybe identify with some of those. You've probably seen other things as well that are, that are bringing people into the nasty zones or yourself. And also as a reminder of myself when I go back there and read those lessons learned. We often I call it amnesia. At times we just forget some of the lessons that we learn. So that I don't forget those, and that others can learn from them. I'm sharing that at the end of the chapters. And the second half of the book is basically this. How did I get out of there? What did I learn? As I started embarking on that positive journey. Making those more positive decisions and getting to that nicer place. So again, at the end of the chapters, at the end of each of the 28 chapters, I share, my lessons learned, and there's food for thought in there as well, because this is a lot about my journey. There's probably things in there that you see that's similar to yours, but there's also a lot of differences as well. So there's food for thought and some questions to reflect on at the end of each chapter. And then at the end, in chapter 27, what I've tried to do is summarize what I call my top 10 change enablers, which are, what did I really leverage moving forward to make those changes. I also call them my change maintainers, so I'm still using those as I try to maintain the change. As a matter of fact, there's a resources section in the back of the book, and one of the tools in there is it's a self-assessment. So it's a self-assessment. What I've basically done is taken the top 10 change enablers. And then every once in a while, I kind of sit down there and I take a look at them and I say, how am I doing on a scale of 1 to 10? How am I doing on those change enablers? And if I'm not where I want to be on one of them or two of them, then it's, what are some of the next steps to get going? So that's in the resources section as well. For example, I'll give you an example. Number 3 of the top 10 change enablers: connect with the right others often. So am I, spending all my time in my office by myself, trying to perfect, all my tools and things to get my new business going? Or am I out there connecting with other people and expanding my lenses? So again, I'll take a look at that. And, if I'm not out there connecting with people, well, what's one next step to get going? And my modus operandi is, one next step to make it easier. If I'm going to go connect with somebody, I'm going to try and connect with somebody who, we get along with, we have the same values. I'm going to learn from somebody with a positive mindset. So I share that with you. So I guess a couple of questions for self-reflection as well. When you go read the book, if you haven't read the book already, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd like to get some other ideas that I can share with others. What are some lessons learned from others around getting into nasty zones, or what are some ideas and lessons learned for getting out of them? I am all ears and all eyes, so please send those my way. I would love to share them with my, my community and my readers, and those who are watching me now on the blogs. My question for you too is, where are you these days? Are you in your nasty zone or in your nice zone? And if you're in your nasty zone, what's one thing that you can do moving forward to get out of there? And in the book I talk about, change and change, it's hard. There's a lot of work. There's, hear about all these, take this 6-week course or read this book, it's going to change your life. I've got 100 books I'm still going through and pulling out all the pieces and going out and learning from them and testing them. So it's all about going out, making the theory real. And the only way of doing that is actually going out there and working, spending the time, as I say, failing, first attempt in learning, trying them out, see what fits to us, going back, reflecting on it ourselves and reflecting with others. So that sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like a lot, but it all starts with one step. So what would be the one step that you would do? And since change is a lot of work and hard, what would be the one way that you could make it easier on yourself? And if you're already in a nice place, well, what's the one step that you could do that would make it nicer? Enjoy the read, and good luck with your life journeys. Cheers.